Yo, what is good, people? Welcome back to another episode of the F1 2023 My Team series here on the channel. If you missed episode 1, make sure you check that out. That did drop on Tuesday afternoon. I'm going to be running this F1 series every Tuesday and Thursday going forward on the channel. In the days in between, we have I was going to say Formula 1, it's not Formula 1, FIFA career mode, yeah, on my team, on that game mode as well, on FIFA, so check that out through the week. But yeah, anyway, I'm all over the place today, boys, with this intro, I can't lie, because this race that you're about to watch today, as you might be able to tell by the title already, there's a few things I need to discuss with regards to this game. Now, it just came out on Tuesday when the first episode went up, and I recorded this race as well on the Tuesday. We're going through on the screen our vehicle components, 21% wear in our gearbox after the first race of the season. Now, on the last game at the start, when the game dropped, the engine wear was ridiculous. Yeah, your engine would be absolutely dead after a few races, and it was just crazy to see the rate that the engine parts actually did, deteriorate. Obviously, we haven't upgraded our durability department, but it felt like it wasn't even to do with that. It just felt like a bug in the game. Just showing what we want to upgrade here, the rear downforce upgrade that we're trying to get. Still can't afford it, we need 4 points. But yeah, man, I've got a problem with this game. We'll get into it later once we get to the race. But first of all, I was going to jump into that little speed zone thing that you saw, which they give you before some races every now and then. And I did play the speed zone off camera, and it was so boring, it wasn't fun at all, so I didn't put it in the video. Because that, I don't even know why they've put that in there. It's nice that they tried to do something, but it's just not that entertaining. Anyway, into qualifying, I'll talk about my problems with the game later on. Let's get through our qualifying session first. Jeddah is one of my favourite circuits since it got added to the calendar. Yeah, I really like this circuit. I drive on a wheel and pedal setup, and street circuits like this on a wheel and pedal setup feels so nice once you do hit a good lap. But hitting the good lap is the hard part. Now, these curbs that we're just riding over here, the white and green curbs, they've changed the profile of them, I think, this year. If you go over them too much, the car just bottoms out and you just slide off the track. It is so painful. And yeah, when you're driving with a force feedback wheel as well, touching those curbs was not nice for a 18 lap race or whatever we do. I've put it on 35% races just for the start of this career mode. We normally play on 50, but we're on 35% to try out 35 and see how that goes. But I will probably up it to 50 later on. Just while I get these first few races out of the way, we're going to stick with 35, or we might do 35 for the whole first season. I'm not too sure yet. But yeah, the plan is with this career mode, if you are new, is to rise from the bottom and put ourselves as championship contenders. Obviously, if you didn't see the first episode, check that out, and then you'll know all about the team, all about the theme behind this career mode. The Dream Racers is the name of our team. A reference to the Dream Chasers, our FIFA career mode. But yeah, man, I just keep wanting to get to the part that I want to talk about in this video. Well, I want to try and make the video entertaining still, you know what I mean? So anyway, we crossed the line, P9 as it stands. Yeah, a lot of people still haven't been. That was the first lap of qualifying. I advanced till quite near the end of this session of qualifying. 3 minutes left on the timer there, and you can see we're down to P20. We fell massively. Well, our teammates in P20, we're in P21. I definitely feel like I had more pace to give on that first lap though that we did in quali. So let's get into it and try again with a second lap, braking just before the 100 meter board to hit the apex for turn 1. Through turn 2, and loads of cars coming out of the pits there. Luckily, no contact with the McLaren behind us. Hulkenberg, he has to get out of the way, and Alonso in front of us in the braking zone, and there's contact with Alonso. Yeah, just a terrible time for us to be starting a push lap. Everyone came out to the pits. No awareness from the other drivers that there was a car behind them that was pushing. So nobody got out the way for us. So that's going to be the end of our qualifying session. There you can see an example of that bottoming out I was talking about. So yeah, that's very sad to see, because I definitely felt like I had more pace in the car there. So we've got a lot of work to do in the race. Our teammate though, Fittipaldi, qualifying P15 in Q1, so he's through to Q2. That is huge to see from our teammate there. He had a great race last time out as well in Bahrain, so I love that for him. And let's get to the race.
So here we are then, welcoming you today to one of the jewels of the Arab world, Jeddah, one of the biggest cities in Saudi Arabia, second only to Riyadh, gateway to Mecca, and one of the biggest ports in the region. and now host to the Saudi Arabia Grand Prix. So let's take a look at the topographical map of the Jeddah Street Circuit. As you can see, a number of challenging corners for the drivers to master here. We'll see just how much the teams have benefited from their time spent in practice this weekend. And like many street circuits, this track has the potential to punish drivers that get it wrong. Let's hope we avoid any safety cars today. It's time to take a look at our starting grid for today's race. World champion Max Verstappen starts from pole position, edging out Sergio Perez, who lines up P2. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Leclerc, Sainz, Hamilton, Russell, Fernando Alonso, Gasly, Ocon, Stroll, Magnussen, Zhou, Norris, Hülkenberg, Fittipaldi, Bottas, Tsunoda, Albon, Oscar Piastri, Sargent, De Vries, Sargent. Which of these talented drivers will come out on top today? Anthony Davidson joins me once again in the commentary box, and it's fantastic to have you with us here, but I'm curious, as a man with experience out on the track, how do you stop those pre-race nerves from becoming overwhelming when you're lining up on the grid?
Well, I imagine they'll be starting to feel the adrenaline as they anticipate the run down into turn one, a bit like preparing to go into battle. The unknown situation will bring nerves, but that's a good thing. It'll keep them focused on the moment and on their surroundings as we build towards the start of the Grand Prix.
Alright then people, let's get to this race in Jeddah. Yeah, starting from the back, a lot to do in this race. Yeah, if you want to make up any sort of places. Our teammate starting in P15. Yeah, a very nice qualifying session from him. Crofty called us Sargent in the build-up. He called us De Vries last race, called us Sargent this race. There must be a bug there, so that's just one to add to the list of many. The engine wear, seemingly a problem. Don't know if that's intentional or not, or if that's the same bug that carried over from last year's game, which would be weird because I think they did fix it on last year's game. So for it to be in this game too, seems a bit weird. But anyway, a perfect parking spot there in our grid slot. And let's get to it. It is 5 reds. It is no reds, and away we go. Yeah, a slow start again. I really need to practice these starts, but heading down into turn 1, a lot of movement there on the right-hand side. Piastri and De Vries, and we go up the inside of both of them. Inside line into turn 1, Piastri around the outside. Almost a bit of contact there, and around the outside again for turn 2. And Piastri with better traction, better launch out of that corner. But we have made one place already on lap 1 over Nick De Vries. Albon and Sargent, the two Williams battling in front. Side by side, Sargent comes out ahead there in that wheel-to-wheel battle between the Williams. Now on lap 1, the tyres are cold. The fuel load is at max, so the car is at its heaviest. I want to try and take it easy through this middle section here, or the end of sector 1 really, I should say. Very tricky sector, the hardest part on the track, in my opinion, the end of sector 1. Trying to keep Nick De Vries at bay. He's really our rival this season, Nick De Vries. We battled with him a lot in the last race, and again we're battling with him here. But we are falling behind now to Piastri and the cars in front of him. So we're using a bit of our battery charge to try and catch up. Nicely hitting those apex coming through there and using more battery charge again. At the start of my team, your car's ERS system is terrible. The energy recovery system, that is like the battery charge that you get under braking, and it gives you extra power when you do apply it. So I don't want to use too much of it because getting it back is really tough, and it drains so quickly as soon as it's open. As you can see there on the bottom when I click A for overtake, that's what ERS/battery is. I'm going to use those 3 terms a lot throughout this career mode, so if you don't know what that is and you're new to Formula 1, there you go. But at the end of lap 1 here, we have closed the gap a little to Piastri. He's getting held up by Sargent and Albon, and you can see those two dancing with each other there, swapping places, going side by side, wheel to wheel into turn 1. Who's going to come out ahead there? Under braking, we get very close to the back of Piastri and Albon, and Sargent again still battling. Sargent this time on the outside, getting in front of Piastri and Albon. Piastri overtook us from the inside in that exact same position on the first lap. So a nice move from Sargent to stay ahead there. But lap 2 again, trying to close the gap, using a lot of battery charge. You see we're almost below 50% already on lap 2, and that's because at the end of lap 2, DRS does get enabled. DRS is the rear wing flap that does lift up, creating a gap in the rear wing of the car, which makes you go faster on the straights. Allows more air to pass through, so there's less air resistance. That is the science behind DRS. But yeah, that gets activated at the end of lap 2. So I want to try and stay within 1 second of Piastri, because you've got to be within 1 second of the car in front to activate DRS. So that's why we're trying to stick with Piastri as close as possible so we don't get left behind by these cars. Again, the two Williams, look at that, they're dancing with each other. Going down into turn 1. We're up alongside Piastri ourselves now into turn 1. Who's going to come out ahead here? There's two battles going on into turn 1. The two Williams and Elliott and Piastri, and Morgan Elliott makes a great move on Piastri there to go ahead. Sargent stays ahead of his teammate, but like I mentioned, DRS activated on this lap. Down the back straight now. Piastri not giving up. Side by side into the final corner, into the hairpin. Albon ahead of Sargent. Piastri ahead of Elliott. Crazy battle there, and Piastri making contact with the wall. Surely going to have damage to his car. Nick De Vries trying to get in the mix as well in the slipstream of Elliott. Down into turn 1 though. Albon pushing Elliott to the inside, and down into turn 1. Will Morgan Elliott make a move on Alex Albon? There looked like there was contact there between the two cars. Let's get a replay. Here's how Elliott overtook Piastri. DRS down the main straight using battery. Albon squeezed us to the inside, and late on the brakes, Albon does make contact and pushes us over the curb for turn 1 and stays ahead through turn 2. Luckily, we picked up no damage, or according to the MFD, there was no damage. Albon again, good defensive driving there, so we couldn't shoot up the inside, and Albon stays ahead for lap 4. Piastri behind on the medium tyres, Albon ahead on the medium tyres. With these softer compounded tyres, we should be faster than those two cars. We've already overtaken Piastri. Now we try and overtake Albon, and again, you just see me touch the curbs there, and we went flying off the track. The curbs are so unforgiving this year in Jeddah. We get our first warning for corner cutting. If we do that again, we will get a penalty. Piastri looking to push back as we approach the DRS zone down the back straight, yeah? We need to stick within 1 second of Alex Albon so we can get it ourselves down this back straight to try and keep up with that gap. Otherwise, we will get left behind. Yeah, we will if we can't keep up in this DRS train. Albon's still pushing on his teammate, and there we go. We have the DRS active, but so does Piastri, and so does De Vries behind him. So it's a three-way battle for P20 right now, yeah? And also we're pushing for P19, who's pushing for P18. So it's a crazy battle at the back of the pack here. If you look on the mini-map in the bottom left, the front four are just flying ahead of this race. They've already crossed the line before we've even hit the last corner. But there we go, Albon close to Sargent. Hopefully those two will battle into turn 1, allow us to catch up a bit while they're losing time, fighting against each other. DRS down the main straight, down into turn 1, using no battery charge because we don't have any, 17%, yeah? But there they go, too wide into turn 1. Albon and Sargent, who's going to come out ahead here? Will Albon finally make the move stick? And he has done round the outside. A very nice move from Alex Albon there. Our engineer suggests a new strategy, pitting 1 lap earlier than we were supposed to. We were supposed to pit on lap 8, but we've decided now to pit on lap 7 instead. And here we go, boys. This is what I really want to talk about with this video. So we were really competing for the first few laps. There goes Piastri with that DRS up the inside. We completely outbrake ourselves into the hairpin, and that allows Nick De Vries to get ahead of us. So we've lost 2 places in 1 corner on lap 5, and for some reason from now on the car just fell apart. But here we go. Can we launch an attack back on De Vries? Piastri's got past us, but on into turn 1, De Vries up the inside. Morgan Elliott, lovely overtake there on Nick De Vries, but Piastri now nowhere to be seen. Yeah, for somebody who was really competitive with Piastri, but a few bad corners here and there, as you can see, bumping over the curves, but not enough to lose too much time on the cars in front. But Piastri, we can't even see him on the horizon, bro. Yeah. And here's a replay of how we lost those places, by the way, to Piastri and De Vries. You can see, completely outbroken ourselves into that corner, outbraked, outbroke. I don't know what the right grammar is. But yeah, we get a nice little replay of the move on De Vries down into turn 1. But yeah, this is the problem I have with the game. Yeah, I said in the last episode I was going to give a little review of what I thought about the game, and I forgot to do it, so I may as well just do it now. I think this game is broken. Yeah, we were absolutely competing with the other cars around us for the first 5 laps of the race. You can see lap 6 here. I've just told the engineer, give us some hard tyres on coming into the box. I thought it was a grip issue. The car was just completely undrivable after the first 5 laps. We had no damage. Yeah, the MFD didn't say we had any damage at all. We had a little contact with Albon, so I don't know whether that messed up our front right tyre, but surely the game should have told me if my front right tyre was messed up, if we had like damage to the axles. I don't even know if you can do that in this game, but still, if you can't show me the damage, then there should be no damage in the game, you know? But we come into the pits anyway at the end of lap 7 to put on some hard tyres to go to the end of the race. And the race just completely fell away from us. Yeah, the race completely fell away from us. I felt like there was no power in the car. The car felt completely undrivable after the first 5 laps. And as you can see here, lap 8 now, all the cars in front of us come into the pits. So Nyck de Vries, let's see where he comes out once he gets his new tyres on. Yeah, because he was right in front of us as we came into the pits. We were battling wheel to wheel with de Vries. We had a bad outlap, admittedly. I will admit when I'm in the wrong game. We had a bad outlap getting these tyres up to temperature. But as Nyck de Vries comes out to the pits, he's already through turn 1 now, through turn 2. And Nyck de Vries is 5 seconds ahead of us. 5 seconds. I did not lose 5 seconds on that outlap on these hard tyres. I can tell you that for a fact. I did not lose 5 seconds. De Vries was behind us when we came into the pits. Yeah, and as you can see now, we've skipped all the way to lap 17. De Vries is 50 seconds ahead of us. I made one mistake in those laps, yeah, which cost me about 10 seconds. Like I say, I will admit when I'm in the wrong. And I thought this was just a skill issue. We get our first blue flags of the year. But the car felt completely undrivable. Felt like I had no power. The handling was terrible. And I thought to myself, you know what, maybe it's just a skill issue. Maybe I'm just not good at this game anymore. I was all right at the last one. I will put my hands up and I will admit to anyone who asks me, I am not great at this Formula 1 game. Yeah, in general, I'm not a great driver. I'm all right, though. Yeah, I'm not bad enough, though, to get smoked by 53 seconds to Nyck de Vries, who we were absolutely smoking for the first 5 laps. So how does he pull a gap of 50 seconds, bro? Or 40, give or take the 10-second mistake that I made? That's just crazy to me. Logan Sargent in front is a whole minute ahead. These guys could have pit twice again, and we still wouldn't be able to catch them. And I don't understand what the problem is. And in Bahrain in the first race, I sort of felt the same, but we had floor damage, if you remember, so I put it down to the damage, and I thought, okay, let's get into Jeddah, let's have a better race and bounce back. But 50 seconds, that should never be a gap. Yeah, and it's not even a difficulty thing, because as you saw, the first 5 laps we were competing, bro. We are competing, but then 50 seconds to end the race, 50 seconds behind the car in front, with only one mistake, which cost me 10 seconds, is crazy to me. Like, I just don't understand it. I don't understand it. Last year when the F1 game came out, there was loads of problems to start with. Like I said, the engine wear issue. I had faults in like every single race at the start of one of the last F1 games as well. And I said last episode I was going to discuss whether you should buy this game, my thoughts on the game. And honestly, this is not a good thing to say. Yeah, this is episode 2 of the career mode that I'm going to look to continue on for multiple seasons and stuff. So this is not a good thing to say as a content creator, but this is how you know I'm being real with you. I don't think you should buy this game. I think you should buy the last F1 game, F1 22. Save yourself some money, because this game feels exactly the same. The graphics look the same. The driving feels terrible. Yeah, I don't even know. People say there's a new handling model and it's amazing. The driving feels like shit, bro. Yeah, I don't even like to swear in these F1 games, but the driving feels terrible. 5 laps is all you get, and then your car falls apart. What's that about? The engine wear seems to be an issue. Still don't know if that's an intentional thing with my team being right at the start of the career mode, so we'll have to see later on. Shout out to our teammate Fittipaldi though, finishing P15. Yeah, that's a great result for him there. But yeah, I don't know, this game, I was so excited to play it, bro. So excited to play it after F1 22. And then it just feels like F1 22, and I've spent £80 to get this game early. For what, bro? I've spent £80 when I should have just made the new career mode on F1 22. Because if you look, the menu's exactly the same as F1 22. The R&D is exactly the same, and the game feels the same. And this is ironic for me to say as a FIFA player, yeah, because people say that FIFA's the same game every year. At least FIFA feels different. At least FIFA adds a little thing here and there. There is nothing different about this F1 game, apart from the driver stats, which they get updated anyway through the season most of the time. It's just crazy. You can see on the screen the upgrades we're going for, saving up for a major weight reduction upgrade, which is what we've been focusing on, but we've got to wait 5 days for a different chassis upgrade to come in. But yeah, that's my little rant over. I'm sorry to be negative. I don't like to be negative. Yeah, I like to always be positive about things, but I'm just looking forward to the next FIFA coming out, if I'm honest. I'll continue this F1 series if people keep watching it. If you are enjoying it, hopefully it gets better soon. You know, as our car upgrades, maybe it's an intentional thing that the car's supposed to be trash, but I don't know about finishing 50 seconds behind the car you were racing wheel to wheel with for 6 laps. So that's just crazy to me. But anyway, Like I say, I thought it was a skill issue. Anyone who's new to the channel and is going to comment skill issue, I searched Twitter, bro, and I'm not the only person. Yeah, I know I've only shown one example on screen because I didn't screenshot the other example that I found, but multiple people are commentating about this, or commenting about this. Yeah, you keep up well in the first few laps, but after that they pull away very quickly. And there is a problem with this game, and it needs to be fixed, EA. Yeah, or Codemasters, whoever's behind this game, bro. Whoever invented this game, whoever decides how to fix things and stuff, it needs to be fixed because the game's just dropped, bro. £80, I want a refund already, bro. The game came out yesterday as I'm recording this. You get me? Like, it's a joke. It's a joke. Save your money. Watch somebody play it on YouTube if you want to see it. And buy the last F1 game because it feels no different. Like, comment, share, subscribe, people. You know the vibes. I'll be back with more videos very soon. Take it easy.